Nyasha Mambo, the immigrant girl who was forced to accept a client for sexual favors in the last episode, seemed to be troubled by the abuse she received from her own people. She did not come to America to live in the circumstances provided by the Tongans, nor did she want to make a livelihood from her body. So, while Zonzo's men are gathering up the workers for the day, she makes sure she finds a way out and runs away with the guys, who are looking for her everywhere. Later, we witness Shamisho having a disagreement with Zenzo about how they should govern things now that Horse is loose. She says she will do her share of the labor and then joins Anton, who is in the lonely junkyard where we originally saw him. She delivers them all of the passports they had obtained during Gray's robbery of Anton. The motive for doing this is unclear, but I'm guessing Barber, the Tongai brothers' father, had a pre-existing deal with Anton that Horse attempted to disrupt. The presentation also indicates that Shamisho was only pretending to assist Zenzo while secretly preparing something else with Horse all along. We have a sensation that something significant is in the works, and it will all happen on the same night. Anyway, I assume Hector gave Gray what he wanted since the following scene shows him tailing a guy called Travis. Travis is seen outside his residence saying farewell to a small girl. It's evident that Travis is related to Laura, as we'll discover later in the show. But Gray is interested in none of that, at least not right away, as we see him following Travis to an RR meeting. Gray slips inside, packing a gun, and sits down for the meeting. He spills his story, and Travis gets a little emotional and goes out for a smoke. Gray puts his gun against him and asks him to get into his car. He then takes him to his office place and questions him for doing what he did to his son. Travis tells Gray that he was in a really bad phase in his life. But Gray isn't interested in any of that, at least not immediately away, as we watch him accompany Travis to an RR meeting. Gray enters, packs a rifle, and settles down for the meeting. He tells his story, and Travis becomes upset and goes outside for a smoke. Gray points his rifle at him and tells him to get inside his car. He then takes him to his office and confronts him about what he'd done to his son. Travis admits to Gray that he was going through a very difficult period in his life. Because he had ingested some medications on top of drinking to his heart's content, he became confused when he saw the child clawing with his car and, in a rush, opted to discharge his revolver. He also left him there and did not notify the police because he had phoned his ex-wife Laura, note the link I mentioned, who had contacted Anton for assistance. So, ultimately, Anton was responsible for the cover-up surrounding his son's murder, denying Gray and his family the critical justice and closure they need. Travis informs him that Anton drove his truck and wrecked it so as to eliminate any evidence of him. Gray becomes increasingly enraged after discovering this, but he abandons Travis. Gray, driven by vengeance after being misled for so long, wipes all traces of his identity from one of his vehicles and traces Anton straight to the junkyard. He is now swapping the bag of documents Shamisho provided him with a few others. So he awaits calmly for them to depart, and as Anton is ready to start his car and drive away, he drives directly into him at high speed. He then changes back into gear and ramps into his car once again. Anton is taken aback by the attack and asks Gray to leave him alone, stating that there is more to his son's death than what he learned from the Tongais, but Gray refuses, allowing his car to explode, thereby murdering him. During the discussion, Shamisho offered Vernon a proposal to manage his staff using the personnel they had acquired. Vernon, the owner of a casino, need well-documented laborers with visas. However, he is uninterested in Shamisho's offer, presumably because he has an agreement with Anton. But when Horse, who was thought to be dead, turns up and Anton does not, Vernon is trapped and compelled to make a deal with the Tongais, especially since they have a hidden film of him having sexual relations with Nyasha. Once Gray finishes with Anton, I'm thinking one of the additional things he told Gray to do was kill Zenzo, as Horse and Shamisho express their willingness to continue business without him. Gray, who has had enough of everyone else's tactics, seals the siblings together in their own office and leaves them with a gun to conduct their own dirty job. Now, the Season 1 conclusion of Parish, Episode 6, leaves numerous loose ends, setting for a second season. Since the conclusion of Parish Season 1 finale, Shamisho is alone welcoming her father to America, and one of the other Tongai siblings, Zenzo or Horse, has died as a result of the shooting. Because both Shamisho and Horse wanted Zenzo dead, I assume they collaborated and killed him. Their father, allowing this cameo to be a pleasant surprise, is adamant about knowing the individual who ruined their family. We watch Nyasha, who previously was on the run, arrive at a nearby police station. This indicates that things will not be as simple for the Tong guys as they have been in the past, unless they investigate their interaction with the government directly. After his conversation with Gray, Travis chooses to turn himself into the cops for killing Gray's son. Gray also calls Laura on Anton's mobile device, informing her that he is cognizant of what she has done.